Hey Talking Fam, and welcome to another Talking Sports video. And today we will be taking a look at NFL players returning in 2022 from injury. I did this in the MLB in the beginning of last season and beginning of this season for the MLB, and I'll be doing it for the NFL as well. So I'm getting the names off of Yardbarker. So, but I did the factuals myself. So, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Please like and subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so starting off, we have the QBs, and we only have one QB coming back from injury, and that is Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, entering 2020, he had 121 touchdowns and 88 interceptions. That is not a really good stat line. 121 touchdowns to 88 interceptions. That is not really a good stat line. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 2020 season. He spent it backing Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. He had only 755 yards. He only had 75 yards and a postseason touchdown. So the 75 yards were in the regular season, and he had a postseason trick play touchdown against the Buccaneers. In 2021, he opened the season in Week 1 with 148 yards and 5 touchdowns in Jacksonville because they technically were the home team, but because of the hurricane down there, they had to play it in Jacksonville instead. So against the Packers. So in Week 8, he suffered a torn ACL, which is a season-ending injury. In 2021, through 8 weeks, he had 1,170 yards and 14 touchdowns to 3 interceptions and 102.8 passer rating. Now that is a very good stat line compared to his 121 and 88 touchdown and interceptions. So that's a way better stat line than before 2020. Now, after the season, Sean Payton resigned and Dennis Allen steps up, so he has a new head coach for the season. He did sign an extension, so we are looking at a new coach for him and all of that. So, looking forward to seeing Jameis Winston play. All right, next up we have the running backs, which we're going to start with J.K. Dobbins. And J.K. Dobbins, and he had a good rookie season with 805 yards and 9 touchdowns. Because he would have had more if they didn't have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, who runs all the time. But he would have had more. But even with Lamar Jackson, he had 805 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So he was drafted by Baltimore in 2020, and in the final preseason game of 2021, he suffered a torn ACL, which the Ravens suffered like 3 of those. So, so J.K. Dobbins looking for a comeback season. Next up, we have another Ravens running back, which is Gus Edwards. He is entering 2021 on 2,152 yards and 10 touchdowns. He has been behind Lamar Jackson's rush-heavy quarterback, so that's why he doesn't have that many yards. He's played in a few seasons. During practice recently before the Week 1, he suffered a torn ACL in practice a few plays after Marcus Peters suffered a torn ACL. So he has high hopes in 2022 to come back and show them what he's got. So, looking good, looking forward to seeing Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins as a team behind Lamar Jackson. Moving on, we have another running back, and this one is coming off of a rookie season where he got injured, and this is his first really NFL season and really playing. So, we will be taking a look to see what he can do this season. And he got robbed of his Rookie of the Year award chances. So he got robbed of that, and let's see. That is Travis Etienne. He is running back for the Jaguars. He was drafted in 2021, and the Jaguars had 2 picks in 2021. First overall pick, they drafted Lawrence, I think it was like the 31st or something, they drafted Travis Etienne. So both of them from Clemson. So we have the running back and quarterback reunited. And before the season started, his college stats, he had 4,952 yards, 70 touchdowns, and 8 receiving touchdowns. So a total of 78 touchdowns and 4,952 yards in 4 years. Now, that is amazing, guys. In college. In week 2 of the preseason, he suffered a Lisfranc injury, so his foot was injured. He did surgery that ended his season. So he is entering the season with a new coach, as they did fire Urban Meyer midway through last season. So he does have a new coach from when he started with, but we're looking to see if he can show off with the new coach. Now moving on, we have Derrick Henry, the star running back of the NFL right now. He entered 2022 with 6,797 yards and 65 touchdowns. So he played 9 games last season, and he had 937 yards in 9 games. That's about 100-something yards a game. Derrick Henry is a beast, guys. He is a player who has the ability to knock people down when he's running. He is just a beast. He knocks through defenders and all of that. He ended. He also had 10 touchdowns and 154 receiving yards. In Week 9, he suffered a foot fracture where he just suffered a foot fracture, and he returned, but in the playoffs. He returned in the AFC divisional round as they had the bye week in the playoffs. He returned and he had 62 yards with a touchdown. That's a good start to come back from a foot injury, and so looking forward to that. Alright, guys, now we have our last but not least, we have Christian McCaffrey, and he hasn't done that well in the last 2 seasons. He started off, he entered 2020 with 2,920 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 2,523 receiving yards with 15 touchdowns. So that's a total of 39 touchdowns and almost a total of 5,000 yards in just like 3 seasons. I think that is good. And in 2020, he only played 3 games where he suffered an ankle sprain, a shoulder injury, and a thigh injury throughout the entire season, where he had a total of 225 yards, 5 touchdowns, 14 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown receiving. So, that's good for 3 games. I mean, I think I remember watching him one game against the Chiefs. He had almost all of the touches. He got almost all of them. And I think they still lost to the Chiefs. And moving on, we have 2021. He only played 7 games. That's a big upgrade from the 3 games. But he only played 7 games in 2021. He suffered midway hamstring and left ankle injuries through the season. He ended up with 442 yards and 5 touchdowns with 343 receiving yards with 1 touchdown again. So, McCaffrey looking back for a bounce back season where he's not injured, trying to stay healthy. He played good through the 2017, 2018, 2019, and those seasons. So we are looking forward to seeing him in 2023 and 2022. Alright, that is today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it. And peace.